Hello, my name is Kian Mohaber, and I did my presentation on Marcello Gandini, who was one of the most famous and influential automotive designers of the 20th century. So, a little history about Gandini. He was born on August 26, 1938 in Turin, Italy. He was the son of an orchestra conductor, and when he was 18 years old, he decided to become a mechanic. The story started as one day he was working on his friend's Fiat 1500S, which is the car you see on the bottom picture. His friend used to race that car, and he brought it over to Gandini for engine service. As he was working on the engine, he discovered that he wanted to tweak the body as well, and then from then on he pursued automotive design. His career took off in 1965 when he landed a job at Gruppe Bertone. The chief designer, Giovanni Bertone, had moved to Ghia at that time, so the spot was open and he was offered a job. From there, he went on to design prototypes and concepts and project cars. His very first project when he started working was a replacement body for the Porsche 911. It debuted in 1966, and it recently sold in Pebble Beach auction for $1.4 million in 2018. He worked here until 1980. As for his viewpoint of art, he believed that the sensation that the art gives you, or the car, is above all else. He believed that every design had a special function, and for this particular reason he liked prototype and concept cars because it allowed him to start with a blank canvas and create anything he wanted from his imagination, which let him express his views into a mechanical design that in his mind creates a sensation. As for the functions of art, he utilized 2 out of 6 of them. He focused on delight and self-expression. He's said to always start with a clean piece of paper and work from a blank canvas for the same reason. So some of the design elements you can see here. On the top left is his original design called the Lamborghini Countach. Underneath is the same car. As you can see, he is the one who also invented scissor doors, which is now famous on a lot of Lamborghinis today, as that was one of the big companies that he worked for. Everything on the right, all 3 pictures on the right, are just examples of cars that came from the same manufacturer later on that he did not design. He had the ability to carve a path with his original designs that laid out a basis for other artists and designers to work off of. Therefore, you can see a lot of the elements as seen in the first car in the cars to come after, such as the top one, a Lamborghini Diablo, the middle one, a Lamborghini Aventador, and their newest SUV, an Urus. So he had an impact on the design world. He was a big caterer to a very large amount of auto manufacturers. As I said, he works for Lamborghini. He also worked for Bertone. All the other companies he worked for included Alfa Romeo, BMW, Bugatti, Cizeta, Citroën, De Tomaso, Ferrari, Fiat, Isso Revolta, Lancia, Maserati, and Renault. And he was responsible for setting the groundwork for later designs of the same manufacturers. As for his art movement, he didn't conform to any specific movement, rather he created one. Before his time, there weren't any really prominent automotive design makers that had really put out a great design. Rather, there had never even been a car that was ever granted the title of a supercar. With the picture you see here, the Lamborghini Miura, this is considered worldwide to be the very first supercar, which is one of the very first cars he had designed for Lamborghini. As well, he led a groundwork for where most designers would base their work off of. As for his specific design elements, he liked to utilize the straight lines, a lot of sharp edges and corners. The whole overall shape of the car was a wedge shape. The nose would taper to a point in the front, and he would follow what automotive designers call the 2/3, 1/3 rule, which means that the lower 2/3 of the car consists of the body, and the upper 1/3 of the car consists of windows. This can be seen in a lot of the lower, sleeker cars that he would design. As you can see here, the top left car was his very first design, called the Alfa Romeo 33 Carbano. The top right design is the Lamborghini Countach. The bottom left is a De Tomaso, and the bottom right is a Cizeta. They're all from different manufacturers, but you can see the same design elements playing in all of them. These are a list of almost every car he has designed, and they all follow the same basic rules. Some of his most famous works are, as I mentioned, the Alfa Romeo 33 Carbano, the very first Lamborghini Miura, the Ferrari Dino 308 GT Rainbow, the second generation of the Maserati Grand Quattroporte, the Lancia Stratos, and the Bugatti EB110. Again, all of his design elements can be seen in every single one of his designs, regardless of the manufacturer he created them for. And if you were to look at later models from the same manufacturers, you could see the same design elements play out in all of their designs. At this point, I'd like to say thank you for listening, and this is my works cited.